I'm Justin Miller.
And I'm Nick.
We are here at Holley LS Fest 2025 in Bowling Green, Kentucky at Beach Bend Raceway. And we have brought LSX Willys 2.0 down here so everyone can check it out and see all the goodies that Holley has on here. Well, I had built the first LSX Willys Jeep years back, and I ended up selling that. And I tried to buy it back for a while, and the guy just wasn't budging on it. We came down here to LS Fest, and a guy named David Ellenberger, his father had built another Willys Jeep. It's here at the show, actually. It's running Holley Dominator.
He took a ride in it, and it spawned into this a year later, so.
Going for a ride in that was literally all I needed to be able to say, hey, I want to build another one. He said when I got out of the Jeep that he could just see immediately that I had a smile ear to ear, and he knew that was going to be our next project. We reached out to all the companies that we work with, and including Holley, and decided to build 2.0. So that's kind of how that whole thing came to be. A year ago today, this wasn't even an idea yet. It wasn't even thought of. So it's kind of neat to see how quickly something can come to fruition when you work with great companies like Holley. If you want to come on up here, we can kind of show you what we got going on underneath. Did not look like that in 53, if you believe it or not. I think we'd have had a few more GI injuries if that was what they got issued. We're running a lot of Holley stuff here. We got the Holley throttle body. We did have to do a custom intake lid. The Holley came forward. It's a tight squeeze in there. There's not a lot of room. We're running the Holley smart coils. We are running an actual Dominator system on the vehicle. I always joke and tell people, I said it will literally do pretty much everything except fold your laundry. It's completely customizable. You can add anything, do anything. It's really pretty awesome, to be honest. We have it running and monitoring everything. All the pressure sensors are from Holley. They all tie right into the Dominator, and it allows us to see literally everything. It also controls all of our cooling fans for the main engine fan. It controls, of course, the fuel pumps, which are also Holley. It controls the heat exchanger. We did a custom heat exchanger underneath with a fan and everything. It controls that all based off inlet air temps. It controls the trans cooler fan based off trans temperatures. And all of that actually, through the Holley harness, connects right into the 4L80E. And they do it for any transmission, or most transmissions, should I say. And it allows them to literally run it just as if it was a factory ECU and monitor all the same parameters, only it allows you to customize it however you want, which is really nice. All right, so the engine that we're running in this thing is actually a Texas Speed 408. They're another great company to work with, but basically starting from the top, we've got a couple nitrous kits on this thing, which it definitely does not need. It is incredibly violent, just as it sits with the turbos. We have an air-to-water intercooler on there, sitting on top of a Holley low ram intake. We actually needed the low ram because height was an issue, but as you can see, it turned out not to actually work like we wanted. There's this mild hole in the hood that we couldn't get away from. We're running twin on-3 performance turbos. They work really well. B-Cool did our custom radiator and all our cooling surfaces, basically. They did the heat exchanger, the trans cooler, and the radiator for this thing. It turns out when you're looking for a high performance radiator for a 53 Willys Jeep, no one makes one. But we did a few little neat touches. If you want to see here, we got like our radiator overflow, we did a canteen, and just little stuff to keep it kind of themed for the vehicle. But behind that, we have a 4L80 trans that is now built better than it was the first time. Turns out when a company gives you a horsepower rating for a transmission, you think there might be some wiggle room. Turns out that was a hard number. It left the group chat, and we we had to rebuild that pretty quickly. I think we got about 90 miles on that. It turned second and third gear into one big conglomeration. We did the Weld S71 wheels, the same wheels I ran on the first LSX Willys, and they're just a classic look. I think they look really, really tasteful and stuff. Come around here, we got some more Holley stuff. I'll let you talk about some of the Holley goodies we got back here.
So we're running Holley's big sump fuel pump in the tank. We also have LiDAR detection for the fuel level in it. We can program that. You can put it in any tank. It just shoots a laser in there and it'll measure it. Also running the big Holley dash in it, fully customizable. It'll have every single sensor plugs in and you can read everything on there.
When I was talking about being fully customizable, the Pro Dash is really awesome because You can set this up for anything you want. Now, of course, this is a custom background that I made, you know, kind of worked with to get set up how I wanted and theme it for the Jeep. What's really great is you can set up inputs on this thing, and it allows you to have different boost settings that you can have just right on the fly. And it does stack those, so you have to be careful. Make sure you turn one off before you turn the other on, because 3 PSI, and then you turn on the 6 PSI, now you're at 9 PSI over dome, and that can get really crazy in something in an 81-inch wheelbase. It is just really awesome with the customization. Like I said, I know I said that word probably 20 times, but when you build something like this, you want it how you want it. You don't want to settle for something that isn't exactly what you want, you know? And being able to customize it and have it exactly how you want it, it's worth every penny, in my opinion. So Kicker Car Audio is one of our sponsors as well, and they were a sponsor on the first Jeep, and they've always taken care of us really well. They sent us the speakers for this thing, and it's incredibly loud, so we might have pushed those first speakers they sent a little bit too far. They decided to drop the gauntlet and send these speakers, and as you can see here, we got the custom ammo can speaker boxes, and then I did this aged wood look. I doubt any soldiers were rolling around with Kicker Car Audios back in Nam, but it'd been a lot cooler if they were, I'm sure. Under the rear seat, we actually did like kind of a custom ice box, and we flush mounted it in here, so that way it wasn't like, the whole thought process on the design of the inside of this Jeep was to keep it looking as original as possible. I know that sounds kind of crazy to say considering what it is, but like, we didn't want coolers and ice boxes and fuel cells and all and cables and wires running everywhere throughout the interior. We wanted it to look, for the most part, what a Willys Jeep would have looked like at the time. And I designed this so my kids could ride in it. They actually, that was a request from the beginning. They would be able to ride in this thing, because they couldn't in my first one. They were just born kind of when I was getting rid of it, but they still remembered it, which was kind of cool. But underneath this thing looks like a game of Tetris. Literally every square inch, it's onboard air, it's coolers and this and that and pumps and all kinds of stuff. But we did that and engineered it like that so we could have this clean look up here. So.
And that's what's really nice about the Dominator and all that stuff. It's all compact, so we can throw the Dominator right behind the dash. The modules for the fuel pumps, since there's 2 pumps in there, we're running 2 modules, and it's actually in the ammo can.
In the ammo can right
shifter.
here under the shifter, yeah.
So everything's really compact and all put together, and we're able to fit it in this tiny little space behind the dash, just trying to keep the inside looking as clean as possible. We're also running GPS speed sensors and stuff on this. It's literally everything you could ever want is on that big dash.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's all like that. GPS isn't like an add-on, that's actually part of the dash. It just integrates right in, and from day one you plug it in, take off down the road, and she's counting an odometer and showing everything. So it's really nice to be able to see the accurate speed and stuff, because, you know, with most race cars and stuff, you are doing, I mean, I could definitely vouch for this. This thing did not have 31-inch drag radios on it when it came out from the factory, and you have to calibrate all that stuff and do this and that. With the GPS though, you can just kind of set it and forget it, and it doesn't matter what changes you make, it's always accurate, it's always right.
All right, so we're running the 4L80 for the transmission, and then we also have a custom carbon fiber drive shaft from Drive Shaft Shop, and it's literally at the length of like a $5 bill.
It's a little fella.
With this little tiny 81-inch wheelbase. We're also running quick performance front and rear ends, so I'll let him touch on that, because they're all measured just for this Jeep specifically.
Quick performance can literally do anything custom, which is really great. And as you can imagine, doing what we're doing with this Jeep, you couldn't say, hey, I need this part for this vehicle with this engine. Do you have a 53 Willys in there with an LS in it? No, you don't, all right? It's got 350 gears in it, which are a little tall, but this thing makes so much torque, and it actually keeps those turbos loaded pretty well. It actually works really nice. And believe me, when you jump on it, you have no idea that there's tall gears in that thing. When you start with something that wasn't planned, you splice in a lot of stuff, you add this, you add that, and it ends up being a mess. And I knew all of the mistakes I had made with the first one. I knew everything I learned with how to make certain setups work and what it needed to do. So when we did this one, it was very easy to be able to just say, I know this is what I want, so we took everything I learned on the first one and put it into this one right out of the gate. Being able to do that with the Holley was nice because, you know, we knew where every sensor was going to be, you know, down to where the you know, flex fuel sensor was, which it does have. You can integrate flex fuel with this, like a GM flex fuel sensor. It's really nice to be able to have all that adjustability and stuff. Now, Holley does have a really great harness for this thing, or for most vehicles. We did have to do a little customization, so we reached out to Current Performance, and they actually have the ability to make harnesses specifically for the Holley Dominator or Terminator or whatever setup you have. We reached out to them and we gave them measurements to everything. So they actually made a pretty much just laid out harness, and it took care, I'd say, what, 90% of the sensors and everything that we had to hook up, which was really nice. I'll be driving and just be like, man, it'd really be nice to be able to monitor this. And it's just as simple as putting a sensor in, running an input wire, and now you are monitoring that, and you can make a custom custom gauge on the screen to watch just that all the time or whatever you want. As you know, when you're building a custom vehicle, there's always some little bug that you're always chasing or trying to find or whatnot, and being able to monitor those little things consistently helps you narrow all that stuff down, which is really great.
With all the sensors that we have plugged into this thing, I mean, we have EGT probes and coolant sensor probes, and there's like a million different sensors on this thing. Also running the Holley smart coils, and it's so nice that most everything on this is Holley, so we can just plug and play everything, and it just goes together fantastic. We don't have a bunch of wires hanging everywhere. We tried to keep the inside of the engine bay looking as well as the inside of the Jeep and nice and clean and tucked in.
He touched on it there briefly that we are running the EGT probes. So with Holley, you can run individual cylinder EGTs. When you're out somewhere and you don't have your little laser heat gun with you, it's really nice to be able to see when a cylinder isn't firing and something like that. And it's clear as day on the log. It's like, okay, well, we got an injector or a spark plug not firing on 7, you know, and it's easy to figure things out. But I will say, if you want to see more of this Jeep and what we're going to be doing with it, we're also going to be building another Holley vehicle. It's going to be an M37, which is the military style truck. It's going to be set up for drag racing, so it won't be lifted and stuff. But if you want to see more of that, check out our YouTube channel, Racing and Randomness, Instagram or Facebook. It is LSX Willys, WILLYS. Thanks for learning about the LSX Willys 2.0 and letting me and Nick introduce ourselves. And we hope to see you guys all at the next show.